All right. Are we going here? I think so. All right. So we are going to be doing some silicone pours today. Got some custom orders that need to get done, so going to get those. Order number. So, um, let's see. I've got 3 orders to do. I'm going to live stream at least, and then we'll probably take a break for a bit. Maybe come back later and demold or something like that. But until then, let's get going on these pours. All right, there we go. Okay, been a while since I've done this, so I'm a little rusty. But yeah, let's see. I got TikTok over here, and then I've got 2 cameras for Twitch and YouTube over here. Get gloved up here. All right, so this is going to be for. Let's do the easy one first. This is going to be a 2-color pour. This is a Dorian Gray, and this is going to be for order number 213. So the last 3 digits of your order number are 213. this one is for you. So we're going to do a, let's see, where is it? There it is. We're going to do a Saturnalia in Dorian Gray, which that is a silver and red. So, all right. By the way, if you do have questions, drop them in the chat, and I will try to get to them as best I can. Just understand that my computer is over there, and I'm over here, and it might take me a minute or something to get to those questions. You got a little too much mold release on that one right there. So we got that. Now we need our silver. There we go. I need that silver and red. So these are the two colors we're going to be working with today. Okay. Now we got our mold, we got our silver. All right. Now we need cup. Where's it go? And I'm just going to give this a little spritz with alcohol, clean it up, make sure everything is clean. All right. This is going to be a Saturnalia in A10. Okay. All right. So let's do. I'll get my silicone together over here. All right. Sorry about that error there. I've got my silicone. Well, my scale is over there, so I can't actually. Well, I don't have enough cameras basically. So, gonna mix this up. I've got part A and part B in my silicone here. And right now I'm just trying to get all of it mixed together. Not really worried about bubbles or anything else. I'll take care of that in a bit. I just want to get all of the silicone mixed up, scraped off the bottom, scraped off the sides. Because we want to make sure we get a good mix. All right, now that. I need to turn this volume down. Okay, it was a little distracting. Turn the volume down on this one too. Okay. 325 by 3. All right. So I've got my silicone sectioned off here. Sorry about that. I'm still getting everything set up because a little distracting. All right, so we have our silicone for our silver, silicone for our red. So let's get those mixed up. I love this red. It's just so deep. It's almost got a little bit of orange in it. Or maybe it's kind of a gold base. I'm not sure. Okay, get that mixed in. Then we will do our silver. Okay. Again, we already mixed up the silicone, so all I'm trying to do now is get the pigment to set into the silicone. Scrape everything down. Get a good mix in there. All right. So we got our red and our silver. We've got our mold. Now we need to vacuum. Go in a vacuum chamber. And again, these are the colors that we're using. There's a whole lot going on in the chat over on TikTok, so I'm having a hard time keeping up with it. What are we making? We are making silicone sculptures. All right, almost done vacuuming. Gamer boy, you got it. Silicone artwork, sculpture. All right, almost done. And again, this is for order number 213. So if you have an order in and the last three digits of your order number is 213, then this is for you. All right, there we go. They do make great stocking stuffers. All right, so we got our silver here. And we got our red. We're just going to pour the red on top of the silver. Might cheat it to the back just a little bit. There we go. All right. So let's make sure we're centered up here. Now we want the red to go first, which is why we cheated it to the back a little bit. Oops. Hang on a second. There's there's my pour direction. We got just a little bit of the red coming in here at the end. All right, we're gonna pour this off into a squishy mold. So whenever we have some extra, we always pour it off into a little mold here. Let's see, these are dinosaurs. And these are just little squishies, but they're made from the same material as the sculptures. There we go. Okay. Come on, settle down here. Are you gonna fight me? And then these will go in with the order when we ship it. So again, just a little something extra for folks. All right. Now then, now I'm going to. This is kind of my signature. You know, it's art, and so every artist signs their work. All right. So let's see. And that is for order number 213. We had a question over on, let's see, where are you from? From YouTube. Is there a pigment to silicone ratio? Not really. It's about, when I was first starting out, I did actually measure everything. Um, but in the end, I just kind of eyeball it now because I want to saturation of the colors. I'm not concerned about the cost of pigment versus the cost of silicone doesn't matter. It's, am I getting the saturation of the color that I want? Is it giving me what I want? And so I'm eyeballing it. And it's, when I first started out, it was about 0.5 to 1%. So if you're doing 100 grams of silicone, you might do up to 1 gram of pigment. But I've kind of pushed beyond that now, probably about 1.5 to 2 grams. Because again, the cost of pigment is so low. I'd rather go for getting the color that I want rather than trying to save a few pennies. Thanks for the question over on YouTube. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to set this off to the side now. And that was order number 213. So the next one we're going to do is this one. This is a custom glacier. So this is going to be blue, white, and clear. So another three color. Well, this is going to be a three color. The last one was two. This is going to be a three color pour. We're going to do that in a scrupula, and we're going to do that A10. So the last three digits on this one is 064. All right, so this is for order number 064. Actually, the last three digits of your order number is 064. This one is for you. Get my cup back over there. All right, so I need a blue, I need white, and I'm going to use clear on the third color. There's our blue, there's our white. This is actually a liquid pigment that I kind of created myself. It's actually a dry pigment when I get it, but then I mix it with silicone to create a liquid. It's just because that particular pigment likes to clump up, and so if I pre-mix it, then I can actually get what I want out of it. Move this to the back here a little bit. All right, so this is my strupula mold. You've seen it all on TikTok now, huh? Okay, well, you know, this is just art. It's just another kind of art. Some people do resin pours, some people do acrylic spin art. I do silicone. Okay, now this is a three color pour, so I need 3 cups. Oops, be right back. Ran out of paper towels on the last one, so okay. And while I'm wiping these out, I'm going to go back through the chat, see if I missed anything here. By the way, if you do have questions, chat, I will get to them as I can. Is this something like, I think what you're talking about is Bad Dragon. Um, we're in the same category in the sense that we both do silicone, but they have a very different style than me. So, um, and their stuff is just crazy big. So, it can be a little scary. Make sure these are all, yep, okay. Get the alcohol out of the way. Now we're going to do a scrupula in A10. All right, let me get my silicone together here. Let's do this. All right, sorry about the delay there. I was fighting my silicone a bit. All right, so we've got silicone in here. We got part A and part B, and we're gonna just mix all of that together. Just want to make sure you scrape everything, bottom, corners, sides. Just gotta make sure it's all mixed together. And I'm not really worried about air at this point because I'm gonna drop it in the vacuum chamber here in a minute, and that will pull out any of the air. Okay, where are we at on this? 230, about 30, 80 grams each. All right. So our base is actually going to be clear. Let's say our base. Color number 1 is going to be clear. Second color is going to be white. Oops. Sorry, I had stuff in the way there. You can see there's that white. Just slightly translucent, but it's very pearly. Almost almost got just a little bit of a cream color to it. Okay. Now then our other color is going to be this blue. Make sure it's This is a very nice blue. Again, it's a little bit translucent. And so, this, if we go with the clear, that slightly translucent blue, and then that white that is just ever so slightly translucent, we're going to end up with something that is looks kind of like ice. That's why you call it glacier. Anyway, okay, we've got our 3 colors. Let's drop it in the vacuum chamber. By the way, these are the colors we're using. Sloppy, huh? Well, it's, there's a clock running here, so I actually have to keep everything moving. As soon as part A and part B touch, that's when the curing actually starts. I have about 10 minutes from the first moment it touches until it goes into the mold. If it takes any longer than that, then that's it gets too thick to pour, and then we have a loss. That's a flop. That's right, Becca. Sculptures. Ah, there's another question from YouTube. I have mentioned that I do other things besides silicone sculptures. Um, we do laser engraving. We also do resin casting. We do 3D printing. Um, we do dye sublimation. We do vinyl cut. Um, all kinds of stuff, really. Primarily, though, what we do is silicone sculptures, resin casting, and laser engraving. All right. This and this. Okay. So what we're going to do here, we've got our clear, which is our first color. And then we do the blue on top of that. Make sure we get all of it in there, at least as much as we can. I don't want to leave any silicone behind. Okay, there's that. And then we go white on top of that. Right? Now we have our mold. Make sure I got my pour direction right. Okay. And into the mold. And I'm just going to make sure I get enough in here to fill up that base. There we go. And sometimes I misjudge it a little bit. I don't really have enough for squishy for this person. But they'll get some random squishies to go along with it. Hmm. Chewy asks, what are we making? We are making silicone sculptures. Question was, what happens if you don't like the way that it comes out? I think that's kind of it. What do I do if I don't like the color outcome? Um, I don't know. If it's something like a Dorian gray, where the colors are kind of set, I really don't screw it up. If I do, I'll just remake it, and this will go in as the store as a flop or a second or whatever you want to call it. If it's a custom order where somebody's picked three colors, let's say, and get those colors in there, and I didn't quite saturate one of the colors enough, I'll just remake it. I got no problem remaking orders to get it right before it goes out the door. Because last thing I want is for somebody to get something that just wasn't right. All right, so that is a Glacier in A10, and that's for order number 064. Okay, so let's get this cleaned up here. Only got one more to do. All right, so this is going to be for order number 005. So the last three digits of your order number 005, 005 as it were. This one is for you. This is going to be a Metropole in Aurora, which is green, purple, and black. It's actually a pretty color combination. And gotta make sure we get some spray loose on here. All right, this is going to be another 3-4. So we got those two. I've got another cup over here, ready to go. And this is going to be a little tricky. This is going to be an A25. The problem with the A25 is it's really fast. You got to move real fast, but I'm also going to use just a little bit harder in it to slow down the curing process a little bit. Give me just a little bit more time to get everything together. So I need, move these out of the way here. I need black. I need purple. And I need green. So these are the three colors we're going to be using on this one. It's actually a really pretty combo. Okay. So I'm going to get my silicone going, add just a little retarder to it, and hopefully we'll have enough time to get it in the mold before it starts curing. Let's see. I need another 100 grams. So this is going to be kind of a little bit of a multi-step thing. I've got my part A, and then I've got my retarder in here. And this is just kind of pre-mix going. I can add my part B. All right, so we got to move fast here. Okay. I need to separate this off, so let's go 90 grams. So now our first color is this purple. Go. This is another example of why I mix all of my silicone at once. Some people mix it per color, but personally, I like to mix it all up, then separate it out into each color. Because I know now that this silicone is all going to cure at the same time. I don't have to worry about something curing before the other colors. Let me get this green in here. I guess it's a little bit more of a teal than a green, but all right, let's get this black going. And there was a question on YouTube, on the YouTube chat a few minutes ago, about I've done episodes. So I do a weekly AMA, weekly live stream on Twitch and YouTube, and talk about different topics. And they're asking me about doing a topic on the design process. So I think that's something I'm gonna have to do. And I think one of the things I want to at least touch on is things that you have to consider when you're designing, because there are certain shapes that just aren't going to work. Um, something that has an undercut to it, or a back hook is going to trap air. So it's kind of hard to visualize, but basically, if you think of this mold like this, if there was a fang or something like that hooked back this direction, well, when I pour the silicone, it would come down here and it would get trapped. Air would get trapped up in the point. So you have to think about how the air is going to move as you pour it, as well as how the silicone is going to flow as you pour it. But yeah, I think I am going to do an episode on the design process. Ah, good questions over on YouTube. Do you have a technique for determining patterns in the color of the silicone? Actually, I do. Um, the way that you pour it into the cup matters when you combine all your colors. And, you know, this one was kind of a, if you were actually paying attention, you might have seen that I didn't pour the red right in the middle of the silver. I actually cheated it to one side. And that, when I poured it, was actually the back side, what I call the back side. Because um, if you think about it like this, and so one color silicone here and one color silicone here, if I pour it this direction, this silicone is going to come out first. It pours over that silicone. So the position that they are in the cup determines how they pour. And uh, also, I play with viscosity. So I might use silicone thinner to reduce the viscosity, or I might use a thickener. And those are going to change the flow properties of the silicone as it goes into the mold. So sometimes when I'm doing a three-color pour that's a stripe, so it's three colors side by side, the middle color, I want to thin that out just a little bit because that um, otherwise it can overpower the other two colors. And so I add silicone fluid to that one to reduce the viscosity, so it pours a little bit thinner and creates a thinner gap, a thinner line in between the two other colors. Um, but yeah, I play with viscosity in order to control how the silicone flows. All right. So this one here. So we have our purple as our first color. And we have this very nice black going right on top of there. Can feel it already starting to thicken up on me. Might have to move faster. All right, and then the teal goes on top of that. All right, got to get this poured. All right, and straight down the middle. So you can see it starts off with the teal and then the black comes in. And now that bottom color is going to come in. And that's starting to come in now. There's that purple. I got real lucky on that one. I was just about to run out of time. You can kind of see how that silicone drags a little bit on the stick here. That's because it's already starting to cure on me. There you go. Whew. How much silicone do I typically get through in a week? It really depends on the time of year and the even first of the month versus the end of the month. Um, Earlier this month, hang on a second. You see where the get your hand out. Yeah, either in that one or the one next to it. They're in there. So earlier this month, I was going through a lot. Um, just a lot of orders came in, and so we got, went through a couple gallons. Uh, we get it by the gallon. Went through a couple gallons, which is um, there's math here. I get about 25, somewhere between 25 and 30 pieces out of a gallon. So that kind of gives you an idea. We'll go through maybe a couple gallons a month. Actually, no, it's a bit more than that. We'll go through about 3 or 4 gallons a month. All right. This is for order number 005. Now, that is all for the pours. I think I'm going to wrap it up, and then maybe I'll come back this afternoon and demold these, or maybe not. I'm not sure. Anyway, watching paint dry, or if you like watching silicone being poured, hit subscribe, follow, like, whatever it is. Something, something. There's different stuff on different platforms, and you can do whatever you want. I don't care. But if you like it, follow, subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. And we will do this again in a couple of days. I don't know. I have to think about it. Hey, Crete with Alora. Thanks for all the questions. I actually appreciate it. And they're good questions, too. A lot of people are just like, oh my God. And anyway, okay, that mic is off. I can still hear myself. That is so weird. All right. So, did you have any other questions for me? I'm just going to take a few minutes and clean up here. But if you got any more questions, drop them in the chat. As well. So you're diving into the adult side. Yeah. Um, just make sure that you use body safe materials. Um, give me a sense of kind of stuff you're thinking about making. I might be able to guide you a little bit better. But do make sure you use body safe materials. So that would be platinum cured silicone. Don't use tin cured or any of the others. Um, and just make sure that your pigments are all body safe as well. Um, depending on the silicone you use, you might need a vacuum chamber, you might not. Yeah, actually, I did you place an order recently? Did I make one of your orders today? Because I have an order going to Oklahoma City. Um, what was your question? Oh, the near clear. Uh, here's the thing: is that I prefer to blend my silicones, so I can get the firmness that I want. And from what I saw, I can't remember. I think there's only one or two firmnesses, and I think it's like 0030 and 0050, something like that. And those are two of my firmnesses, but they're not, I can't combine them in a way that gives me all four of my firmnesses. So as much as I would like to use it, the problem for me is that they their firmness range is very limited on it. And if I blend it with any other silicone, then it doesn't retain the clearness. Yeah, this, I don't think I'm going to give away too much here if it's not you, but this order here is going to Oklahoma City. Did you hear it? Get it? All right. Well, hey, if you got that first test going, that's good. So many people out there just don't even start. So I actually have. Here's the funny thing is again, I'm not gonna give too much away, but there's another person that I know in Oklahoma City who is just getting started as well. Um, and actually, I'm kind of playing with the idea of doing a online course or an online kind of teaching thing and getting a few people together and doing kind of a teaching session or a series of teaching sessions where we go into a little bit deeper detail about specific things. So I don't know if you have signed up for my newsletter. Go to my website, amavidi.com. There should be a pop-up that says, "Hey, do you want to join the news? Follow us on the mailing list," or something like that. Or there's a newsletter button at the top. Hit that, and I will send out an email whenever I do decide to do that. And that way you can actually participate in that if you like. Print smoothing, yeah. Um, that can be how you're doing your prints. If you're doing FDM with filament, um, PLA is fairly soft, and can it likes to kind of bind up a little bit whenever you're trying to sand it, which is why a lot of people will coat it with primer or something like that. And that way you're not sanding directly on the PLA. The other option is going with ABS. If you go with ABS, you can do a vapor smoothing and get a really nice glossy finish on those. But if you're using resin, I've had problems with certain resins causing cure inhibition. So keep an eye out. Again, I'm not sure what kind of printer you're using. But I think you can also use uh, Smooth On has something called 3D XTC 3D or something like that. 3D XTC, and it's a resin that you can paint on, and it releases all the bubbles on its own. And so you can lose a little bit of definition depending on your design style and what it is that you're trying to cover. But the XTC 3D can be a lifesaver if you've got a design that is just making nuts. and you can paint it right over PLA. You have tiny bubbles popping up on the surface. Um, are you using a vapor, acetone vapor, or are you dipping it in acetone? How are you doing that? Because I've tried both, and the vapor is the only one that really works well. Because I tried dipping it, and the problem was that no matter what, there was always some point where the acetone would sit longer. So, like if I dipped it by the base, if I was holding it by the base like this, and dipped it in acetone and pulled it back out, well, it would all run down to the tip here, and the tip would actually get melty. And I vaguely remember it bubbling slightly as well. So you might be using too much acetone. All right, so I think I am about done for this day. No, no, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. So many notifications when I go online. Yeah, I'm not very good at two-part resins either. At least the ones you kind of brush on like that. I think the problem that I had more than anything was that the resin, the surface of the model caused the resin to bead up slightly. And so it's kind of like oil and water. And there was, I don't know if there was too much moisture in the PLA, but it was kind of weird because I painted on there and I could see it beading up. And that was kind of weird. Anyway, with that, I am going to wrap it up for the day. Thanks for joining me. And hey, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or leave a comment. I don't know if you can send private messages on YouTube or I don't know. But you can also send me an email, info@amavidi.com, and I will try to get to that as well. Anyway, with that, I am done. I will see you next time.